Hello everyone, welcome back to FFGLive. My name is Evan, and I'm joined here today by Alex Watkins.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So you are Director of Organized Play.
Yes.
And we are here today to do an Organized Play AMA. So you guys, we set up a forum thread, a whole bunch of questions got thrown in there, and we collected those. So we're going to run through a bunch of those. If you have more questions, though, as you're watching, feel free to throw those in the Twitch chat. I'm watching that as well. We'll pull out good, relevant questions, and we'll ask those as well.
Sounds good.
So we got a lot of stuff to get into, and also wish Alex happy birthday, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were figuring out dates for this a while back, and you pitched an email, I had this date and another one, I thought, why not? Why not? What else am I going to do on my birthday? It's a date, an age I don't want to talk about, but it's
of course.
I'm comfortable. I don't need to go celebrating, and why not chill out with you guys?
Yeah, it's let's make it a birthday to remember.
Yeah. In a good way, please.
All right, so let's get straight into it with some general questions. So you changed the names of all the kits again last year.
Yeah.
Why was that, and will they keep changing?
Well, we when we kind of took a step back and looked at what the organized play kits were going to be and how they're going to work, some experiments made last time around with the hyperspace kits, the elemental kits.
Yep.
Talking to retailers, they got a little bit confused with some of them. I know some of the players did as well. It didn't help that some of the abbreviations were the same. The elemental championships, elemental challenge. It made things a little bit confusing. So I wanted to step back to the older system of this kind of pyramid triangle system, but change it a little bit. We changed the regionals to primes because where you are in the world, a region means a different thing. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't really representative. It makes sense in Europe or not in Europe. It makes sense in America or not in America. It got a little bit kind of weird. And we did the same with the national championships because we wanted larger countries, if they wanted to host two, without it being odd that there's two national champions in a year. So Australia being an example, they're going to get two. And some of the other larger countries can do that. And so that was a positive change I think we made. So we now have this, we have our seasonal and open play, premium and open play kits, the kind of our rotating kits. Then it's store champ to prime champ to grand champ to national champ with the continentals floating around as well. So it's back to more very similar to our old system, just with a couple of little changes.
Right. Perfect. So I've seen a lot of variations on this question. Yeah. Which is when will my kit X get to my store?
Yeah, and that's a great question. One of the challenges we really took on when I took over the team just over a year ago was to streamline the systems, tailor the organized play offerings to each game rather than just doing the exact same thing for every game. And when we started digging into it, we were looking at, we got to consider concepting, internal approvals, external approvals, production, shipping. There's lots of stuff that goes into a kit getting to a store. And we've really improved our the top end side of it, which is concepting and producing and designing the kit. We're in a really good stage where we're churning on, and we're in a very healthy position with that right now. But that doesn't mean anything if it's not getting to the stores on time and when we want it to. So we're now looking at different ways to use our distribution networks and to maximize our efficiencies. We have some really good leads and some changes we're going to hopefully make this year that really start getting things out sooner. And I'm really looking forward to that world where I'm telling off a TO and a store for running something too soon, which I think will be there midway through this year. We'll be in a situation where in theory a store is going to get it before they need it and start giving out the prizes a week too early. And that sounds like a problem I'd love. So that's what we're building towards. There's lots of moving pieces in that we don't necessarily control or have any leadership over. It's the way the business is set up, but we're working closely with everyone there.
For sure. Is there going to be a nifty new pyramid graphic?
There is.
Soon?
So with all that, we've got a new organized play website coming along, which we've spoken about a few times before. And with that, we're going to be showing each game's forecast arrival of kits, what their seasons are, when their seasons start and end, when their store champs, primes, everything arrives. And that'll also be communicated through our new newsletter as well, which we've got retailers signing up to. So we're going to hit on two attempts here. We're going to have a dedicated organized play site, which I think is really important. A lot of organized play news gets a bit lost in the FFG site. Sometimes older articles show up in searches ahead of newer ones, and people are getting the misinformation. So having a controllable site where we're controlling that messaging is going to be big for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So another question. There's people saying there aren't really stores in my area that support OP for my game. Why can gaming clubs not have access to OP kits?
So when organized play is set up, really, it's a marketing tool for our studios. We want to support our customers. Now, yes, our customers are the players who play the game, but they're also the stores who sell the games. And so traditionally, the organized play structures are set up to help those brick and mortar stores get more people in the door, sell more games. We want their survival is essential to our survival and how we work in the ecosystem. So that's the traditional model that we've been following for 5, 6, 7 years now. That being said, we are looking at how we work closer with clubs and organizations. We know there's lots of people out there who are either unfortunate not to have a local store near to them supporting them with gaming space, or they're in countries where that's not necessarily the economic model, and it's slightly different in that country. So we're looking and experimenting with ways to access those players in ways, as long as it's not detrimental to our brick and mortar and our core customers, our core stores. And you'll see that with the experiments with the Kotais in Europe, where in theory stores can apply, gaming groups can apply to run those. And the same with the Vault Warrior tryouts. We opened that up to not just stores, we opened that up to gaming clubs and societies and whoever really can put in an argument to show they're running an event. So we are starting to experiment with that, but it's a delicate balance because we have important customers to look after. But I am very keen to find new ways to reach out to that audience, and that is part of what we're working towards at the moment.
Awesome. Are there any plans for an OP TO training kit? This is mostly covered by the fundamental events document, but a video or a presentation or something along those lines could be useful.
I think it's a great idea. We've talked a lot about doing more video content, more guides, more instructional videos, and with an organized play website coming up, that might be a place to do it. I did a short one. It's out there for how to use Gem when it was early days, but actually that needs updating, so I do want to redo that anyway. So I think there's going to be a good cycle. There's a lot of things we could do there. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And I think it's something we'll push to do and have them up on YouTube somewhere or on a video hosting site of some sort where people can find them. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Perfect. Is it still planned to release independent floor rules for different games?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Can you speak to the issues that FFG has experienced with the OP kits in the past couple of years, why they've been sporadically released, what plans are in place to increase the reliability of receiving OP kits?
Well, I alluded to that a little bit before.
You talked about it,
we're improving it. We're going to be looking at a different way of distributing kits to do that. We had a system that relied, for example, for Europe recently, with everything going into the UK and then being sub-distributed out from there to be efficient shipping. But with political things happening over there, we've changed ahead, ready for it. And that caused some disruption. But then we're now looking at how we can improve that further. And I'm in talks with our distribution partners around Europe and the world to tidy that up. And also our companies we work with, our sister companies, our other departments, is how can we make this more efficient? And like I said, we are building towards that world where things arrive too soon.
Yeah.
And we would love to have that problem. That really is our goal. Like we sat there at the beginning of our vision meeting going, okay, what do we want to achieve? We want to be telling people off for doing things too soon.
Yeah.
And that is a genuine goal, and we will hopefully get there.
Yeah. So this person asks, could we someday get live event support on our devices? I'm imagining getting my pairing advertised to me through an app rather than crowding around a paper.
It's on the shortlist, yeah, absolutely. And people who've been following the development of Gem with KeyForge will know that we have the Gem Remote app now, which tournament users can use to register players and do things. That app will develop in the future as well. We're always looking to push the boundaries. As being a global company, we have to be aware of every country's data protection policies and things that are in place. There's certain things we want to avoid. I'm looking at what other companies are doing, and some of the things I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, that's brave. There's certain things they probably haven't considered, and I'd rather be too careful and get it right first time than cause any issues. So we are definitely looking into it. It is definitely the future of how things should work, and watch this space.
What is happening with the Invocation and Fellowship kits for 2019?
So we talked about those back in like October when we announced what they were. So when we announced them, we said they were going to come in 2020, in around the April time, and that is still the plan. We've pushed them back. What we wanted to do is with the Arkham kit, we wanted it to be opposite to Arkham Knights, because I want to do more with Arkham Knights in the future. People in Europe would have seen we've had some Arkham Knights around Europe, and having Arkham Knights and the Invocation kit kind of all fall at the same time felt a little bit messy. So by pushing the Arkham Knights kit back to sort of spring the following year, we get 2 hits on the year plus our Gen Con scenario, and that kind of fitted nicely with Lord of the Rings as well, because it has Gen Con in August. So having something in spring, it made it feel less tail end of the year heavy, and it was a good opportunity to rethink that strategy and open up the calendar a bit. So they're still coming.
Perfect. So this is more of a philosophical question. This guy says, I'm speaking from complete obliviousness, but are there incentives for stores to run tournaments/events outside of profiting on the tournaments and events? It seems that a lot of stores can give up kind of quickly.
Obviously organized play is a great tool for stores to build a community around their store. And anything that builds a community has more people coming to the store. They're more likely to buy their sleeves there, the latest releases there, candy bars, coffee, sandwiches, whatever it might be. And so stores running events, that's really, to me, is what I'd give advice to a store is, yes, you're selling seats to the tournament and you're getting them some cool prizes, and that's great, and we'll hopefully sell them some sealed product if it's a sealed event. But on top of that, it's the secondary sales. It's Do you need some sleeves for that sealed event? Do you want a candy bar? Do you want a can of pop? Whatever it might be that you're going to drink or eat, that's where you can start doing it. And then people can have an experience in a full day at a store. And suddenly it's not just, I'm just going to go play a game. It's, I'm going to go spend my day there. And that's really the stores that you see strong, doing really well and really kind of pushing those secondary sales are the ones that are getting really successful. So there's, other than that, there's some ideas we've been floating around, and I think I know what they were alluding to. And there are some pretty grand ideas happening on a higher level than I'm at that I want to tap into with organized play. I can't really say anything more than that at this stage, but there's some definite other potential avenues we could go down in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's move in and start kind of going through individual games and addressing questions specific to those. So we will talk about your game, be it X-Wing or Legend of the Five Rings or KeyForge or et cetera. We're going to go through a bunch. So let's start here with KeyForge. I live in X country. When will I get a vault tour?
Yeah, another one that I'm sure you've had a few questions like that. I think about midway through last year, I said we're looking to expand the vault tour and push it further afield. And we're already making good headway into that. There's a couple of new countries being added this year that when we've got the dates finalized, we'll be announcing. And we're considering a few others as well. It's the interesting challenge of a prize wall. A prize wall has to have more than you need on it at the start of its existence. And that means shipping more than you would normally for a tournament kit. And so it's working with our country teams, working with our partners, making that affordable and efficient and how it can work. And we've got to a stage where we can do that. And that's where we'll start to see a lot more spread from our vault tours as we go forwards. Yeah.
Will there be a way to redeem amber shards online or elsewhere?
The elsewhere bit, yes. Online is a bit of there's some potential pitfalls there that we need to avoid.
We don't want to create a cryptocurrency.
We don't want to create a cryptocurrency, no. I mean, in theory we could, and then we could go down that route. That's not really where we want to be. But yeah, we're going to see more prize walls pop up outside of the Vault Tour in 2020. Post Worlds, there's going to be an opportunity for country teams to have their own walls that they can take to Comic-Cons, conventions, their own grand championships, things like that. We're going to give them access to those sorts of things. So yes, we're going to see more places to use your amber shards. We've given them given a kind of an alternate purpose to them as well with the leaderboard decks, whereby earning amber shards at store level, you're taking part, is scoring you on a leaderboard, which gets you a prize. That's like a secondary use for the amber shards, and we'll be looking for other things to do that as well. But no, I understand what people want to do, and I understand that on paper that sounds super simple. We could just do it. It's just really not that simple.
Yeah. Where will the Vault Warrior tryouts, qualifiers, and qualifiers, and championship be held?
Good question. Yeah. We're going to be announcing that very, very soon. We're finalizing the last few details, dotting all the I's, crossing the T's, and we'll be reaching out to the locations that got the tryouts very shortly, and then we'll be putting a big post up with all the other dates in the championships as well, and the qualifiers, and the championship as well.
All right. Is it possible that a weekly Archon allotment would ever be added to Gem with all the different formats?
Fantastic question.
Yep.
That's my answer.
Will Best of One Adaptive ever be considered an official format?
I would never call anything Best of One Adaptive, and that's just a little poke fun at the name. I don't like the name of it. I get that it's supposed to describe the situation, and I think it's the answer to that question really is I do watch and I listen to what the community are doing with their own variants. You guys are a great resource for that, and some of the things you're doing are amazing and great fun. But it doesn't mean that all of them are things we want to adopt and do. That one in particular I really like. I like the idea that you skip the first 2 rounds and go straight to the end of Adaptive. We'd probably get a different name for it if we decided to do anything with it. But let's wait till after Worlds for that. We've got a lot of stuff we're developing. Anytime we add something to the game like that, it requires a development end because it's all got to work with the tournament software, how amber shards are awarded, all that kind of thing. All has to kind of fit into it. But yeah, absolutely. It's variants like that we love reading about and hearing about, and that one particularly seems fun. I haven't played it myself. Normally when I hear about a few variants, we play it in the office, so we'll chuck that one around a bit. But it's not one I don't think I need to play it because I played Adaptive. I know how it works, and it's a cool idea. So
for sure,
yeah. Watch the space for future post Worlds. We may see a bit of a shake up with a few different changes.
So I see there's a bit of a discussion going in the chat stream here. What are your thoughts on prize tickets versus like set prizes that someone would get for winning rounds versus doing prize tickets in a prize wall?
I think it's delicate.
Yeah.
I personally, one of the things I really like doing is a per round item. So much like kind of a mixture of the two, right? So you say in this round the winner's going to get this. In the second round the winner's going to get this. Third round, if you go unbeaten, you get all of them, but you might just win some of them depending on the rounds you win. I think But that's really nice for a singular tournament, right? That gives you a singular thing. You can go and get what you need to do. If you then went to another one of those tournaments, you're going to win the exact same thing. What Prize Wars does is it allows those people who go to multiple tournaments to feel like they can pick and choose the things that they want. They're not just getting duplicates of all the stuff. They can go, actually, I don't want that item this time. I can get this item. Or I can save up to get that item. And that balance, I think, is important. And depending on the tiers where we'll use it. Prize Walls aren't for every event, though. It's difficult to prize wall every event. There's a lot more work goes into making a prize wall. And then you've got to price out the tickets for the prize wall and make sure you've got a good balance on that, which in a singular event environment is much easier than on something like the Vault Tour, where you've got to take into consideration that, people are winning amber shards at stores. And we knew that once primes and grands started happening, people were going to turn up the Vault Tours with a lot of amber shards. And so we knew that, but it caught us off guard a little bit. Yeah, we saw items disappearing off the prize wall like that. The limited 20 Gruins we did at PAX Unplugged just disappeared. Like, that was 2,000 amber shards. It disappeared in like 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So like, that's insane. Like, if we'd done that at the beginning of the year, when all people have been doing is chainbound, then that would be a completely different story. So we were ready for it. It caught us off guard a little bit more than we thought. And so we'll be making sure the prize walls are stocked up better going forwards to counteract that. It was an interesting challenge for us. It really was. I know Josh and the prize team really enjoyed the challenge and adding cool, exciting things. But yeah, it was. We sat down. We spent a lot of time working out what we thought the right cost would be versus how many amber shards would be in existence, and that's a hard thing to try and guess. No one's really done it like that before. Mostly prize tickets end. You don't use them at the next event, and yeah, it was a fun challenge.
All right, back to KeyForge. Will we ever see an Archon reversal Vault Tour?
Josh will hate me for saying this, but yes, I want to make it happen. The challenge right now is we can't just port it into the current Vault Tour setup, because it rewards decks for doing well. So you're now going to be rewarding a deck for doing well because it's not very good, and the player's playing the other person's deck. So it's a weird world where we can't just port it into what we're doing.
Right.
So we'll probably look at a world where just all the decks get the same power level. Win-loss gets tracked because that's fine, I think, but it gets tracked with your opponent's win-loss. Kind of a weird one, right? Because your opponent's using the deck. And then we would just issue amber shards for rewards rather than any other leveling to the deck. Someone joked that we could do negative levels, and if you win a reversal Vault Tour, you go down levels. But we've always said that it's a leveling up mechanic. It's not a leveling down mechanic.
Right.
So we haven't got any plans currently for decks to fall down in levels. But it was a fun idea. I liked it. It was a nice pitch. I love it when people come at me with ideas. But yeah, I think we'll find a way to do reversal at some point. We'll find the right time. And because I love the variant, it's one of my favorite ways to play KeyForge. So.
All right. Some questions on KeyForge Worlds. Will there be a last chance qualifier?
Yes, there will be. It'll be a team event because the Worlds is a team event, so take that into account if you're planning on coming. But we'll figure out a way to help people coming as individuals who may want to join with other people and form a team. And knowing that Destiny is a week before, I imagine there's going to be some crossover players who are going to want to hang around. So yes, there'll be if you haven't got an invite to the Vault, to the KeyForge Worlds, there will be an opportunity there to play an event and play side events throughout the weekend. Yeah.
Do you know when those tickets are going to go on sale?
They'll go on sale pretty soon. We're going to be announcing that. I think it's a question coming up in a minute, but I can say it now. We're going to be announcing when the cutoff is for the leaderboard, and at that point we'll start having people be able to claim their tickets. And what we're going to do is at that cutoff date, which is going to be after a Vault Tour in February, everyone in the top 100 gets their invite. That's it. You guys have got your invites. And then between then and the Worlds, anyone who gets into the top 100 also gains an invite. So we don't want to devalue those Vault Tours in between. There's still things to earn. So if you are sitting just outside the top 100 right now and you're not going to the February one and you're trying to get in soon, that's fine. Go to the next Vault Tour. If you jump up into that top 100, even if for a week, if the next week you drop straight out, that's fine. If you're in that period, you're going to get your invite. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then we'll reset the prize wall after the leaderboard after Worlds.
Nice. How much consideration has been given toward introducing a judge program for KeyForge?
How do you measure consideration? What's a metric for consideration?
Consideros. How many consideros?
Several consideros have been given. Yeah, it's a discussion we're still having. We're ironing out the creases, and we've got some really good ideas on the table. So that is something that'll be happening soon, and I'm very excited for. Yeah.
All right. Will there be more leaderboard/local prizes for the stores? Unique decks are awesome, but it'd be great to know what else. Unique keys, buttons, deck boxes, etc.
Short answer, yes. Josh has got some really great ideas coming along for what he wants to do with that leaderboard. We always knew that when we did the leaderboard and the alternate decks, that this was a step in the right direction, that we're going to build on it and do something cool with it. I actually had a meeting with him today where he laid out his concept for what the next stage would be for that. And I'm really excited about it. And we threw some ideas back and forth to to extrapolate it a little bit further. And yeah, it's a really cool concept. So if you liked alternate decks, you're going to like it. Absolutely. And maybe there'll be a few more of them out there. Maybe there'll be some other cool things. So yeah, we're going to be, it was something, I think I said at the time, if I'd been around earlier, I'd have launched the game with that leaderboard setup. That would actually be the primary use of Amber Shards as its main function. And then the prize wars would have come later. But yeah, I think we've got it now and we're going to run with it and do cool stuff with it.
All right. When will, so we just kind of talked about this, but to just reiterate, when will the World Championship invitations for the people who have top 100 spots on the Vault Tour leaderboard be confirmed?
We'll be announcing dates soon. It's going to be in February when the cutoff happens. And like I said, everyone in the 100 gets their invite. And then between then and Worlds, if you hop into it, you can come along.
Perfect. Are there plans to make the organized play results more accessible via the API? Currently, the only way to find out how decks have performed at an event is to take a snapshot of the Master Vault before and after and look for change power levels, wins, losses.
We may look at how the API is accessed more in the future, but right now my focus is on getting a better reporting function so that we, not only you, but we get access to all these things really cleanly, really simply, then we can share that with you. So just this week I got access to the new Vault Tour reporting function, which allows us to report live midway through a tournament, well, not midway through a tournament, after day one, and we can give you all the decks that break down how many of each card was being played, how many of each house combination was being played, who played what decks, how they did, how many wins they got. And we'll be able to give you that after day one, before day two even starts. And so we're creating a system where we can share that information more freely and more readily, and then we're going to look at the best avenues to get that out to people. We've got to be careful how much we open up with the API. There's personal data in there. There's things we've got to be careful of. But particularly when we're a US company, but we have European players and many people from other places in that setup. So we have to be respectful of all of that. But yeah, we're going to be finding a better way to we've got better information now. I was having to breathe through it, and it's really great what we can look at. Now we're going to find ways of getting that out there.
Absolutely. All right, so transitioning to X-Wing, we just saw the announcement about hyperspace changing. What was the thought process around that?
Oh yeah, so X-Wing and hyperspace. Yeah, that was great. That whole process was fantastic. It took a long time to come through. When I took over, one of the big changes me and Josh both made was we wanted to talk with the developers of the game a lot more, spend a lot more time with the people making the games, tie in what we're doing with organized play. And with that, I sat down with the developers of X-Wing and said, well, this is what I think hyperspace should be. This is my concept, my vision for hyperspace. And we threw that idea around a bit, and the developers went away with that concept. And they came back with this fantastic model. Max and the rest of the guys did a ton of work. And they came out with this map of what ships are going to be legal, when, why, how they categorize them, which upgrades are going to be available, how the rotation will work halfway through the year. And it was impressive. It was this amazing model. And a lot of effort and work had gone into it. It wasn't, people are speculating whether we got lucky or what we did. I listened to some of the podcasts. It's a great listen. But no, the guys really mapped out what we wanted it to look like, what we wanted to play like. And we moved some of the dates around a little bit, like the article said. I wanted to get it so we rotate after Worlds, because that makes sense. So we had to buy a couple of months this year. So there's a couple of shorter seasons, then I'll get to the 6-month season going after that. But it was one of the reasons was to create that fresh environment, that challenging environment. Make it accessible still, like hyperspace was always meant to be, but make it so that people who love the game still care about it. So it's accessible, but yes, people who are dedicated and fanatical about the game have an aspiration to play in it and get something out of it themselves. So it's now going to fill both those roles. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, lots of love for the hyperspace format here in the chat.
Great.
Hit me with, while we're talking formats, hit me with the format for Store Championships and the World Championship.
Okay, so X-Wing gets 2 Store Championships now.
Yep.
It gets an early one and a late one. The first one, we'd like everyone to do hyperspace.
This first one coming up.
First one coming up like very soon,
yeah.
Beginning of the year. I understand if some stores have advertised already, extended and done all their planning, fine, go ahead and do that. We don't want you to upset people who've traveled and prepped for it. Go ahead, we understand that. But we want to make sure hyperspace exists at store level as well as at system open level. Store championships will be hyperspace for the first one. The later one will be a choice, store choice. The reason we gave the choice to go to extended is that's going to be closer to Worlds, and people may want to be testing their Worlds lists in a competitive environment, so we want to make sure that option was available to the stores if they want to do that. The Prime Championships and all the road up to Worlds will be extended. The hyperspace is for the system opens and for the Coruscant currently, and that's how we've set up for this year.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so a question here on prize tickets. So this guy says regarding X-Wing, prize tickets at premier events don't seem to be equal with other games in terms of time invested. Basically saying that, an X-Wing event could take 4 hours, whereas a Destiny pod could take 20 to 30 minutes. Seems like X-Wing should get more prize tickets. Is this something that you're looking at?
So I saw that question, and it made me smile a little bit. I understand where that's coming from, and if the prizes were available to all players the same way, I would agree that it's a feel bad because you get more tickets from X-Wing, Destiny or quicker game than you would X-Wing, but they had different prize wars. Like the X-Wing prizes had prize tickets for X-Wing prizes, and the Destiny tickets were for Destiny prizes, and that was all balanced out to what we thought was about right for the costing. Yes, Destiny guys could turn up with more tickets, but things cost them more. I mean, maybe we didn't get the balance quite right, and the perception was that we didn't at Worlds, but it wasn't. I don't think it was too far off. But I understand the feedback, and we will take that on board. If we up the number of tickets you got for X-Wing, we just up the cost of the X-Wing items. So, like, it's you can have more. We can give you 1 million tickets if you want, but things are going to cost multi-millions. So, I get what the question is, and I understand what they're saying. And there was an element maybe of that over recent years, and we are addressing that. But just upping the value, it's still those tickets are for those prizes, right? And we did allow some crossover, but it cost more tickets. So if you wanted to use Destiny tickets for X-Wing on the last day, I think we allowed it was like more tickets needed for the items. So we didn't just simply one for one it on value.
With Epic and Scenario Packs being released, are there any plans to add them to tournament play as a way to break up the 206 format?
Oh yeah, I think so. The Epic play is a fantastic expansion. Some really fun ways to play. If it had been out a little bit sooner, I'd have done something with Coruscant last year at Worlds. Yes, I want to do more with Epic. There's some cool stuff coming for that game, that game mode, and I want to support it more. So yeah, we'll be looking to do more with it. We'll start out with side events and things, but we'll look to push it a bit more.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Final Salvo? It doesn't come up much, but more so the threat of it makes games play out a little differently than they perhaps should have.
I think Final Salvo is a really thematical way to end the game. I like it. It gets around just being a coin toss, because it's not quite a coin toss. And I understand where this question is probably coming from, is to do with lists that benefit from going to a Final Salvo. And there are lists out there that are beneficial to going to Final Salvo. So rather than changing what Final Salvo is, we're looking at experimenting with how to make it non-beneficial to run a list that's trying to get to Final Salvo. And we've got a really nice, we work with the developers, again, part of this working close with developers. We've got this really nice setup that wasn't quite ready enough to give to D to try at LVO. But we will be looking to try it at events soon and get some feedback. It's definitely going to make it so that anyone who's building a list trying to get to the salvo will not benefit in this scenario. It's going to encourage people to play the game without changing the game at all. Perfect. So we couldn't just change the game. We need to be careful, and a lot of thought has gone into it. But I think it's a really healthy thing that we're going to trial.
All right. Could we get an approximate schedule for Storm Prime Championship seasons, or at least what months to plan for those in?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking X-Wing right now. Yeah. So X-Wing is going to have a really nice system actually running into Worlds. It'll be Store Champ, Prime, Store Champ, Worlds. Then a bit of a gap. And then the next year comes around and we do it again. We don't have the calendar up for everyone at the moment, but that'll come with the new Organized Play website. You'll be able to see we're getting graphics done to make it look very pretty and make it look very easy for you to see what's coming. But yeah, we're going to have a Store Champ season, which will end in the spring, I think, for X-Wing. The date's right in front of me. Then we'll have Prime Championships. They'll end Store Champs. And that's why that second Store Champs can be extended, because it's going to be before and during Worlds. So that's the cycle for X-Wing.
That makes sense. Last year, you participated in the X-Wing Oceanic Team Championships here in sunny Sydney, Australia. This guy's wondering what you thought of the event, if there are any plans or wishes to bring a similar format to official OP.
I think participated is about the right description of how well I did. I played 9 games. I managed to win 2. I was very satisfied with one of my wins. I feel sorry for my opponent when I managed to trap a 2 health Guri on 2 proton bombs, sacrificing 3 droids at the same time. I was very proud of it. I thought it was good. People who've spoken to me, I love team events. And you're seeing that with KeyForge World Championships is going to be a team event. I really love having opportunities to play in a team. I think the camaraderie, the way you play and approach those tournaments is very different to other tournaments, and I really love that about it. So right now, as people have alluded to in some of the questions, we are reforming and catching up and getting more efficient with our organized play program. It's not really the right time to make big dramatic changes. But that being said, team events is very much on the horizon for me. It's very important to me. So yeah, do expect at some point in the future us to experiment a lot more with some official team events for FFG.
All right. So a question about prize support. It says, I feel that prize support these days is a bit top heavy. Some awesome prizes for World and System Open players, which I understand are the top tier, but the seasonal kits have, gone down to more just extended art cards, right? Is there a chance to get more alt art cards, plastic, etc. in those kits?
Well, the cost of those kits has also come down.
Yeah.
That was the whole point, was to make the open play kits very accessible for new stores who aren't sure about doing that game. They can get it without too big a financial risk. The premium kits have more substantial things in. And that was a deliberate tiering. We want the bigger events to have the bigger, cooler prizes. We want that to be the draw. We want that to be aspirational. I understand what the questioner is asking there, in that they want to have cooler stuff at store level. Well, we're talking X-Wing. You're going to get 2-store champs. So you're going to get extra opportunities to get those cool stuff at store level. And I get alt arts not necessarily all that exciting, but they're something we like to do. We will do more alt arts rather than just extended arts. We will move into that direction in the future. But there is still going to be this tiering system. We don't want to do too much. We want to give reason to aspire and go in the game. But yeah, we hear what you're saying. Kits are going to change structure a little bit going forwards. I've got a pretty bold wish for what we do with our premium seasonal kits. Busy working out the feasibility and if it can happen. But if it does, then that's going to be quite a kit. It's going to step up a bit in the prize offerings at that level.
Nice. So I've seen this question asked a lot. Official release date for the remaining Wave 6 ships, January 31st. Applying the 11-day rule, Von Ring and Fireball missed the UK system open by 3 days. Can an exception be made?
So we have this 11-day rule, and we will make exceptions when we need to. So we talked about creating the hyperspace game mode. A lot of the work we put in was made under the assumption that Von Ring and the Fireball would be there. So this is one of those times when we will make the exception. We wanted those ships in hyperspace for that system open, so we're going to put them in there. The fact that the full contents are out there and people are using them makes me feel less bad about breaking the 11-day rule, because people can proxy, people know what's out there, they know the dials, they know everything about the ships. So I don't feel too bad about the 3-day break to that extent, but understand that this is what we wanted. We wanted them to be available, and that's what we were building towards. We don't control the street dates. Sometimes things happen, and it does affect organized play. I don't want it to affect what we thought we wanted the event to be, so we're going to allow it.
All right.
I'm sure that'll be making lots of people jump for joy, and I'm sure there'll be many people thinking the absolute opposite, but we can't please everyone.
The response for everyone starting to play hyperspace I've seen has been overwhelmingly positive. If support continues and more players enjoy it more, is there any chance the Prime Grand World Championships might be moved to the hyperspace format, or are those decisions set in stone for 2020?
So I know who asked that question, and I commented on the thread on my Facebook page when they asked it. I explained that in the article in December. This is how it's going to be for this year. We have got the Coruscant track, quote unquote, that's hyperspace, and we've got the Worlds track, which is extended, with store championships who don't give invites to either, switching a little bit, but mainly being hyperspace. It's a bit of, we didn't want to impact a big, hyperspace was a bit of an unknown. We were confident what it's going to be, and I'm glad people are enjoying it because we were pretty confident about it. By putting the bigger chunk straight over to it was a bit too much of a risk, I think, for me first time around. I wanted to put it somewhere where historically Coruscant has been the quirky event. It's been something a little bit different, so having a different game mode running into it seemed fine to me. And we'll take feedback. We'll see how it is. We're going to do it. And absolutely, we may flip it next year. We may say, okay, World's Track's hyperspace and System Open's extended. We may mix it up a little bit. But I said that clearly in the article. This is what we're going to do this year. And we may well flip it on its head next year. We'll see what people think, what it's like. And hyperspace will be very different next year. There'll be different ships, different upgrades. And it's a great tool we have now with the point system being digital, that we can do these things and make these changes. So yeah, this year is set. I'm not about to go flipping things on their head midway through a season. That's not what I'm going to do. We're going to commit to this, and then we'll sit here again next year. Maybe it'll be different.
All right. So you mentioned the exception for being made for UK System Open. A lot of people are asking about the Fort Worth System Open in the US, which I don't have the dates in front of me, but I believe is probably hitting right around the same time there.
Oh, it's around the same time? I think it might be the same weekend.
Yeah, and if a similar exception.
Oh yeah, the same exception was made for Fort Worth. Sorry, yeah, that weekend. Yeah, that was when the hyperspace flip was supposed to be live for. So yes, sorry, Fort Worth is the same weekend actually. Yep. That's a crazy weekend. We have Fort Worth, UK System Open, and we have because Fort Worth's also got a Vault Tour and a Kotai, and we have the Game of Thrones World Championships all going on at the same time. Yeah, it's a big FFG gaming weekend.
Absolutely. Is there for X-Wing a plan or intention to ever host Worlds outside the US?
Oh God, can I have a dollar every time someone asks me that question? I'd be able to retire. How do I answer that? I would love to see that happen. There are challenges that come with putting Worlds outside of the US. We like it being in the Twin Cities area. We have access to our entire team and our extended team and the extended teams of those and the developers without having to worry about traveling with those guys. That being said, they don't have to be at those events, and we can outsource all of that work. Our judge teams that we use in Europe are fantastic. Our tournament organizers are brilliant. Our country team guys, we have a great network in Europe, for example, where hypothetically we could run World Championships. So it's definitely not off the table. Those of you who remember, I am European, and I do keep banging the European drum in pretty much every meeting, and Evan can atone to that I will be hitting there going, what about Europe? So it's not off the table. It's not happening for these games this year, but who knows? It could change.
Mm-hmm. And then, the card packs as well, are those also going to be legal along with
Absolutely, yes. Yep, all of them, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, I should have cleared that up, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. All right, let's transition over to Legion.
Yeah. Okay.
Why was there no last chance qualifier at Worlds this year?
Okay, so this is just for this year. It's what happened was with our shake-up of organized play, renaming it and getting everything back into the structure that we wanted, that things led the way we wanted them to, it meant we had this overlap where people were earning invites for Legion from both Rally Point qualifiers and from Primes. So it meant there were a lot more invitations out there in that period than we were really initially designed them to be. But we needed to tidy that up ready for our new cycle. So in short, we just had many more invites to this Worlds than we really were planning to do and had. So we don't have room for it. But it will be back, don't you worry. It'll be back next time, and we'll make sure that's the structure. That's what I want to follow for the future.
Perfect. With Skirmish now a way to play, will we see that getting more support?
Absolutely. Yes, that I love that. To me, it's anywhere where they're struggling for space, to half the space size down and be able to play the game that people enjoy. It's just another way to get more stores playing and more gaming space being used. So yeah, absolutely, we'll be looking to push that. Yeah.
What changes have been made to Legion OP kits?
We've mixed it up a bit. So with the Legion OP kits, we've designed them a little bit more to be friendly to run leagues with, rather than running a single tournament. Legion is a long game, and trying to run a full tournament in an evening isn't easy, and it's going to take up weekend times, and stores only have so many gaming spaces, so much time slots to fill. So by moving it to a league system that can make the kit last longer and go for longer, the kit has more in, is what we've moved to with Legion. So you'll see the kits being more designed around leagues.
All right. For Star Wars Legion, have you considered doing something other than strength of schedule as a tournament tiebreaker? SOS sometimes feels a little bit more like a coin flip.
Yes, we are working on that right now. We've got there's a lot of stuff going on with Legion that we're working on to do with things like that, which we'll be very excited to talk about soon. So yeah, that is very much on the radar. All
right. This guy says, my question is for Legion. I come from Perth. We have a fairly small community, and event kits like a Prime are a tough sell for local game store events. Is there any plan to have a lower level, no Worlds ticket structure with prize support for smaller 8 to 12 person store championships or leagues?
Well, the kits are going to support leagues, yes. Mm-hmm. Primes are going to pretty much stay where they are. The challenge there is to make them work for smaller, we kind of then have to create 3 kits, if that makes sense. So you'd end up having like an 8-player kit and a prize kit, and you'd order X number of how many 8-player kits you needed for the number of players, and one winner's kit, and that gets very difficult and tough for us to do logistically and production-wise. But I hear what you're saying, and we can definitely look at ways to do more for the smaller communities. I think League Play will definitely help with that and encourage more people to come back and not have to commit to a set time. You can commit over a period of time. You can have a ladder system where people play and arrange their own games. There's lots of ways you can do that, which I think will really lend to slightly smaller communities.
Mm-hmm. According to the Star Wars Legion tournament regulations, a Prime event with 17 and 24 players should play 3 rounds of Swiss and cut to top 2, which could potentially leave one player undefeated who misses the cut. Why is this the recommendation for the player size, and are there any thoughts on changing that up?
So I wasn't involved when we rolled out Legion to that level of detail. But my understanding of how it was, and I think it's a good reason to do it, is time constraints. We want to be able to run these within a store's time window. So anything that adds, so we want to reduce the rounds down and try and still make it complete. And I understand where you're coming from here, that it can feel bad for some people. But I will definitely, didn't realize it was such a big topic, but I'm happy to look at it and address it. We can do a dive into it. Like I said, we're already looking into the Legion rules and regulations and how things work, and now's a perfect time to look at it. So yeah, I think we can have a look at it and see what we can do. But again, we are very conscious that for running a tournament, it needs to fit within a time period, and Legion is a long game, so it's going to have that challenge. So.
Yeah. All right, switching over to Destiny for a hot second. What's so special about the World Championships now that the game line no longer continues?
It's a fair question. I mean, that's a fair question. One we wanted to make sure the community still had a send-off event. We still want you guys to gather, want to play, and we're going to do some cool prizes. We've got some really nice things we want to do. Something I can't talk about, which is going to be very cool, and it's something to do with the kit that comes afterwards as well. And we want to give you guys one last hurrah, I guess. Really, like we love you guys. We love the community. We want you to enjoy the game for as long as we can make you enjoy it. We don't have any more products. We can't continue to support it with organized play, but we can give a send-off in the World Championships.
Yeah. What's the Set 10 OP kit all about?
That's cool. Set 10 OP kit. What can I say about that before we put an article out? So we've said that it's from an unreleased set, right? So Jeremy and the guys who worked on that set worked really hard. The cards and the design in that set are incredible, like genuinely really cool. Mind-blowing. There's stuff in there that I can't say that is going to get people very excited, and I think people who want to continue playing the game and maybe do what they want with that, I'm not going to say anything more than that, will get some cool inspiration out of this set. And so I didn't want it to not exist. I think you were the same. We sat down, and Aaron was the same. We said, what can we do here? And we started concepting a kit, and I'm really happy with what we came out with, which is a system where everyone gets one of everything. Like, you're going to play in store for if there's going to be multiple events included in this kit, so you're going to have to play in the store at least twice beforehand to earn your seat at the final event, where you get one of every card and one of every dice. And then you're going to get to build your deck with that. So it's a one-of format. And that's your challenge, is here's these cool things. We're going to bend the rules a little bit, obviously, because there's restrictions in deck building that we're going to have to take out to allow it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a really fun environment, and you're going to get some pretty cool cards and some cool dice. And yeah, I think I'm going to be encouraging the store here to do it, and I really want to play in it as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm glad we could do it for Jeremy. I think he put a lot of heart and soul into this last set, and I want to see the light of day.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering issues that OP has had with getting previous kits out to stores, what are your plans for bringing these kits that have 180 cards and tons of dice to stores?
So that's interesting. Sorry, I'm going to get rid of that because someone's messaging me while I'm on stream. Probably someone trying to wind me up. It's actually an interesting question. So when we concept a new kit, we have to concept it, design it, get it approved, get it licensed, all these different things we have to go through. And that takes time and effort. And then there's checks and changes that have to be done through it. Then we've got to find someone to make it. We've got to find someone who can make that component, get them vetted. If it's a licensed thing, they have to be approved to make the item. And there's all these processes that go into making a singular prize, right? What we've got here is components that are already approved, already designed, manufacturers already approved, already set up, everything's already done. So while it may sound like a big undertaking, we're ultimately utilizing what was an approval system for us to see one of everything and every dice that we'd have before set anyway internally, and utilizing a system that's already there to create a kit. Now, we wouldn't normally put product in a kit, which is why this isn't normally available to us. So while it sounds like a bigger undertaking, actually it's once we decided on it and got it approved and got everything ready for it, as far as pulling the trigger on it, it's actually fairly straightforward compared to a lot of other kits that we design. So I understand the question. I think it's warranted. But I don't think you should worry too much. It's going to be a couple of months after Worlds, we're going to get this out. I mean, we've still got the usual production lead times because dice take a while to produce. Yeah. So it's going to take a while anyway. But yeah, it's oddly quite satisfying. I'm very excited to see it go out there, like to see that happen. And actually, when we started putting everything together and going, oh no, we can do this. Okay, let's do this. Like, it was really quite exciting, and to be able to talk about it now is really good.
Yeah, yeah. So then moving to L5R, and a question in the chat that I see here. Do you have plans with regards to the OP? What are your plans for incentivizing clan loyalty?
Clan loyalty? I guess because we're the Hadamotos and things. Yeah. It's a good question. Tyler's getting a lot more involved in the OP side of it, which I'm very, very grateful for. He's very passionate about the game. And a lot of the new concepting around the Kotai series came directly from him. And I think I really like it. Clan loyalty is still there. You're going to lose your Hadamoto status if you play out of clan. So it's still there, and the prize is still going to be themed around clans. So it's still going to exist in pretty much the same way it did before.
Yeah. All right. This year, you're running Kotais differently in the US to the rest of the world. What's the reason behind that?
It's an experiment. We talked a question earlier about how do we work with clubs and societies more than just stores. We wanted to see if that could happen. And the old game, Kotais would be run at store level sometimes. And some of the stores can run large events, and that's great. So we want to give them the opportunity to do that. Patriot Games, for example, in the UK, I'd expect to be getting one, and they've run some big events for that game over the years as well. So it was something of an experiment. We had an opportunity. A game always had a good following in Europe, and I thought it was a good place to try it. The rest of the world, we also had a good infrastructure and a deal set up with Yeti to do things in America. So it was good to do an experiment outside of America. We always get accused of being very US focused. Yeah. It's nice to do something that is in fact, the opposite. We're trialing it with everyone else to see what they like and what they want to do. So, yeah, very, very excited about it. It'll be a good experiment.
Perfect. So last month, FFG opened applications for retailers, communities, and conventions outside to host a Kotai. Any more information about the process or when the first approved events will be revealed?
We've been digging through them this week, so expect us to be reaching out to the people who have been approved to run them and start getting those dates in the calendar. So yeah, that's happening very soon. Imminently, in fact.
Awesome. This guy says, I've attended L5R Worlds every year, and the event has gone from strength to strength with a full and varied program, incredible participation bling, and lots of opportunities to earn prize tickets. I don't hesitate to recommend it. My question, though, is this. Can we please get a much earlier announcement of when Worlds will be? It'll make it much easier to plan if we have a definite date. Basically, where's Worlds going to be and when?
Absolutely. Thanks for nice comments, actually. I think last year's, I should say, Winter Court prizing was amazing. And hats off to Josh's team for getting them there and doing that. So, interestingly, L5R is the only World Championships in this year that we haven't announced the date for.
Yeah.
I can't give you the date today, sadly. But there's good reason.
And
there's
why
very
is that?
good reason I can't give the date. I can give you the location. And this is a question that was kind of answering a question from earlier. It's going to be in Spain. We're going to put the World Championships for L5R in Spain. And before I go any further, that has nothing to do with a Spaniard winning the event. So before people go, does that mean if a Puerto Rican person wins X World, it's going to go there? No, that's not what it means. It simply means that we had a great opportunity with Game on Madrid. That convention moved further away from December into November, which made it very difficult for us to run Kotais there because it was just too close to Worlds. So I was like, well, why don't we do Worlds? And so I'm working with the organizers to make sure Worlds will be there. They can't announce their dates yet until the soccer season's announced because they have to make sure that Madrid's not too busy. Yeah. So once they've figured that out, we'll be able to tell you exactly when. But I guess this is also an answer to will we ever won World Championships outside of the US? Yes, we're doing it this year. Yeah. And it'll be an interesting experiment. We've got some fantastic judges, some fantastic staff that we can utilize in Europe. And that venue, anyone who's been to any of the Kotais, the largest Kotai we've done since we've run Kotais was there. That was my first Kotai, and that was an eye-opener, that's for sure. So we're definitely excited about what that'll mean for the game. And it was the right game to try it with. Historically, they'd had World Championships in Europe as well. So it was the right game to go, let's try this. So here we are. The European guy in charge has finally brought something here.
You did call it soccer, though. So I
did call it soccer. Oh, no.
At this point.
I just did that, didn't I? I'm appeasing the masses.
All right, so this guy says, can we have US Kotais at stores or hotels rather than cons to avoid that paywall?
So yeah, we'll be announcing the US ones pretty soon with Yeti. They're working pretty hard not to put everything behind paywalls. But yes, we'll still have the Gen Con event and there'll be one at Origins. But a lot of the things they're planning alongside other events and will be in hotel conference rooms rather than behind the quote-unquote price wall of a convention. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this guy asks, in the 2019-2020 Kotai season, Fantasy Flight Games has introduced the Tides of War mega game, similar to mega game elements featured under, the AEG, L5R, CCG, and so on. Does Fantasy Flight Games OP see the Tides of War mega game as an experiment in player engagement, or is it a new direction and it's planned for interaction with the L5R community and something to expect?
A bit of both. And hats off to Tyler for his concept on this. When he sold this to us, I think me and Josh both went, yeah, let's do it. Like, it was a really exciting way of doing things. And Tyler's already working on the next version of that and what we'll do in the following Kotai season. He's got some great ideas for that as well. And it is a combination of how to engage with the community with L5R, but yes, we are looking at how we engage with our other communities as well. So it's something there to have a card design element into it as well. It's just really neat and tidy. So it doesn't mean we'll do it the same way every year. We may switch back to something a bit different next year or something completely new. Knowing what Tyler's working on, it may be something completely new and equally exciting. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how it pans out. And Tyler's taking a full lead on it. So he'll be keeping in touch with all the events and making sure everything's updated and run. So.
Yeah. What's the future of the seasonal OP kit for L5R? Seems we haven't had much news about them recently.
Yeah, so L5R will get the store championships now, and they'll get prime championships. And they'll have a seasonal open play. We're actually making their open play 6 months instead of 3 by putting more into it. A lot of things we did with L5R always felt we ended up leaving a clan out. Kind of tough. So extending the season allows us to not do that. But also the premium seasonal kits are going to be over 4 months instead of 3 as well. So there'll be 3 of them throughout the year. So it'll be a slightly slower cadence, but the content will be upped. And I'm really excited for them to start hitting stores, and they will be hitting very soon. Yeah.
Yep. What steps have you taken to ensure issues with last year's Elemental Championship season don't happen again, particularly with regards to kit contents and timely distribution? We've kind of talked about that.
We've talked about that, and we didn't talk too much about kit contents, but that's part of it as well. Part of our new, what we want to do with our distribution changes and how we process our kits through is also changing how they're packed. And we're utilizing a company with a fantastic reputation. We'll be bringing those guys on board very soon. So a lot of the things were missing from kits, we used a fulfillment company that let us down a fair bit over the last 12 months, I think would be fair to say, with a few of our kits, and the Q&A didn't pick up on it. But yeah, we're very excited for this new relationship we've got coming forwards, and it will definitely address these issues. And we know we're still catching up. The thing is, it's such a rolling machine. If you consider Organized Player Studio, FFG put out more SKUs than we do, but no one else in our company, studios-wise, puts out as many items. If you consider a kit a SKU that we do, we put out over 100 SKUs, and it's constant production cycle. So to catch up, we have to slowly catch up, or we cut things out. We don't really want to just cut things out. We want to catch up. So we don't want to say, hey, we're going to do this thing, and then go, oh, I've changed my mind, we're not doing it anymore. We want to get there, but it's going to take a bit of time to catch up. That's why I'm talking about midway through this year. I think it's when we're going to be in a really great place.
Yeah. If the do-it-yourself kotais in Europe go well, it's a possibility there can be do-it-yourself kotais in the US and Canada.
DIY kotais. I like that. I like coin that term. I don't see why not. Like I said, it's an experiment. We want to see how it works, how it goes, what the players' reception is, what the tournament organizers' reception is, because it's got to work for them as well, right? Like, we've created this thing for them to do. I mean, it's got to be successful for the people running the events as well as for us and for the players. Yeah. And if that all adds up to a nice result, then yeah, we'll look to do more of it.
All right. A question on L5R Worlds. Will it still be invite only?
It's still following the invite only. Yeah, definitely. It'll still be the invite only with a large chance qualify.
Right, exactly. All right. Do you feel Invitational Worlds for L5R is as successful as you want to be? That's the same question.
Well, in answer to success,
yes.
There was actually an interesting metric I can share, and it's partly our fault. So we didn't announce the Worlds particularly well for L5R. We're a bit late on it. Yeah. I'm not going to talk to how and why, but we acknowledge that. And so that affected what I'm about to say, almost certainly. But the percentage of invites claimed was down in the 30s. When we look at other games where we've had invite only, it's up in the 80s. So that was a surprise to me, but I understand why. I know some things that we didn't help with that, which did mean everyone in the LCQ got in. Well, technically the bottom 4 weren't going to, but we couldn't just leave 4 people out. We're going to put everyone in. And so it was a bit of a different representation. We're telling you the world's, like, we're telling you where it is now. We're doing a lot. We're going to communicate far clearer. As soon as we've got the dates, we'll let you know. And we'll be doing things much sooner going forward. And so next cycle will be a much better representation of how the invite and last chance qualify works for L5R. And it worked very well for X-Wing. So I expect it to do pretty well for L5R as well when we've communicated far clearer.
Yeah. Another question on L5R. Is it possible to get cards that have been errated for balancing reasons at OP casual store kits?
So the idea of putting it in one kit, no. But you're going to like the prizes this year.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way. It's definitely something that we considered well in enough time for them to be hitting in this year's kits. Yeah.
All right. Looking at Armada, what's coming along for OP and Armada?
So Armada, much like Legion, is going to get longer seasons with a more of a league play hit to it, where we want to focus on where stores can struggle to run a full tournament in the evening, but allows players to come back. So expect more of a league theme going with the new kits when they come out this year.
All right. Anything else you can share about the future of Armada OP?
We're going to keep doing it. We love the game. It's very balanced. We've talked about new product coming, so that's going to come and hit later. So we're going to keep getting the league stuff going. Worlds will still happen. Prime Championships are going to happen. I think it's one of our most balanced games that we've got out there. Yeah. And I love that about it. And people know I'm a sailor. I love the mechanics. It really does feel like a capital ship moving around the board. So yeah, we're going to continue to support it the way we are and a bit more of a focus on league.
Yeah. Yep. Will Armada return to a non-invite format for Worlds?
I think it's a little early to ask that question. Yeah. We haven't had our first one yet.
So
let's ask me that question after Adepticon, and we've had our invite, and we'll see what happens from there. I mean, we'll play it by it.
Just to briefly touch on Imperial Assault, is this going to be the final World Championship, and will there be any more OP support for the game?
This is the final World Championship, and as the game is now complete, and we're not making any more product for it, we are no longer supporting it from Organized Play.
All right. So we're going to touch on Marvel Champions here and then wrap up. If you have any final questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. Marvel Champions, though, any plans for Marvel Champions Organized Play?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we had the launch activity. Marvel Organized Play is going to get open play kits starting to hit stores soon. And then, so that'll be just general cards for playing in store, rewarding you for playing, and gathering and playing your game in your store. But then we've also got the more story-driven product coming along further down the line, and we've got kits specifically designed to interact with that as well. So think along the lines of the Invocation kits and the Fellowship kits, that kind of experience. We're going to have stuff like that for Marvel. And if you like the stuff we did on launch with the comic book theme that Ryan and the graphics guys knocked up, you're going to love what we're doing for our prizes for this game. It's going to be great fun.
Will future organized play kits for Marvel have a higher production count compared to the launch kits? Recall stores having a difficult time trying to get those kits for launch week.
That's an interesting question because we make every kit to order. So we put a solicitation out and we make what's ordered. Now, there was obviously some few issues in the US. I think we're getting them out there. We're going to work closer with our distribution partners and make sure that we're communicating that as clearly as possible. I would encourage anyone to make sure they're on the newsletter that we'll be doing. That's going to start going live this month, where we'll be talking about what's currently available to order, what's coming up to order. That's designed for retailers, but people can sign up to it as well. So you can poke your retailer and be like, wait, go order this kit. It's not coming for 4 or 5 months, but we want to have it when it arrives. So we're making sure that we're hitting communication from all directions we can to make sure stores don't miss the order window or that distributors don't miss their order window, and then we get as accurate a count as possible. I mean, we always overproduce a little bit, particularly in English language.
Yeah.
But clearly there was more demand than people anticipated who were placing the orders. So I don't think that's stores at all. I think that's an internal thing that we need to fix, and we will work on going forwards.
Yeah. Will Destiny be at Adepticon?
Destiny at Adepticon.
Yeah.
I need to double check. I believe we're still running pods with there. So.
Yeah, there are pods listed on the site.
Yeah, so we're still running the pods, yes.
Yep. And we can't say anything about the X-Wing app at this point.
No, but stay tuned because
X-Wing European Championship. Any insight on that?
Yeah, I've got some insight. I mean, well, I know where we're hoping to do it, and I know we're getting very close to announcing it. I'm very excited for the location. Alec and Tommy are working hard on that, so we'll be announcing that very soon. It'll be second half of the year, so we've got a bit of time yet to get that out there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. This was our AMA with Alex Watkins. So it'll be archived on YouTube, so you can go back and see all the answers that we gave, as well as previous AMAs that we'll link to there. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll be back here on Thursday doing some Legion, I believe.
Cool.
Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We're on all of them, so please follow us there. Thanks to Carolina Game Tables for the table. We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.